So I was listening to Joshua Phillips. He has a show, Crossroads. He's from Epic Times. I like him. I followed him for about 3 years, and he does a question and answer at the end of his show. But you have to subscribe. It costs money, but you can watch the first half of Crossroads on Rumble or YouTube, and you can see that for free. For the second half, which is usually when he'll do questions and answers, that you have to pay for through a subscription with Epoch Times, which I like him, and there's some others on there that I like. But it was interesting because during the chat, taking questions from the chat, there was, because he was talking about the net neutrality stuff today that they want to bring in. But there were people that were asking about AI, okay? And so we don't have a really free AI operating right now. So he has concerns about AI, like many people do, okay? But one of the he doesn't see a true intelligent AI ever getting off the ground. And he makes such sense here too, because the government will never let a true AI have access to all things. And he said that this happened in China. They let a true AI type system operate, and it ended up exposing the science. It ended up exposing the tyrannical government. It did, because and what we have here is Chat GPT, any of these AI platforms. Your college kids are going to type in there, and then they think that's the right information they're getting. No, they're getting that AI system is dumbed down. So in China, they had, because it was realizing how tyrannical the Communist Party was there, it was exposing them. So they had to take it down. They couldn't have a truly open AI. So they had to take it down and dumb it down. And the way they dumbed it down is they program it to only take from certain news sources. So then it's like what we have now in media, okay, on your TV screen. You know, they're all pretty much saying the same thing. Maybe here and there, some of them are talking about some different things, but they're really not telling you the things you need to know. So not really, every now and then. But definitely not CNN or any of that. They're just a propaganda machine. So is MSNBC. But regardless, putting that aside. So a truly open AI we don't really have here, because a truly open AI would take every scientific paper, it would take every news report, and its ability, which is what frightens people, is the how truly intelligent it is. And when you allow it to be truly intelligent and gather the possibilities of solutions to things are endless. But it would never serve the government to have a truly open AI. It wouldn't, and it makes sense, because the government itself, all your scientific scholars, they would lose. There would be no need for them. And the biggest thing there wouldn't be a need for is their control. So so that was just interesting that he said that they had to take it down in China. And then because I wrote down some of what he said, it was really good. Oh, he also said the funny thing is about AI is that it's creating mutations. And he thinks that's hilarious, which it is kind of hilarious, because as it gains more data, people are using, because it can generate AI art. It can generate a movie. It is that, advanced. But as people because it gets all of our data from everyone, it uses our biometrics, our behavior from social media. It doesn't matter what media site they all have been doing it. Yeah, it's not like your freedoms matter. But so if you think you've been protected from this, you haven't. It knows about everybody. But it's not limited. It gathers everybody's biometrics, user data, behavior, and all that, along with all your scientific journals, all your media, and truly open AI would recognize the people that are corrupt. It would, and that's what happened in China. So he doesn't see there ever being a truly open AI. He said it is a little scary, the quantum computing, all that kind of stuff, because it's a multi-dimensional type computing. And it's on a level that many people in technology don't quite understand. But that seems to be the history of science. They just go head first into doing things, and because they don't seem to have any moral compass, it's after the fact that we find out, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that. They don't seem to learn their lesson there, but then they're on the health equity path with the healthcare system. So, yeah, of course they didn't. They all came out in 2020 and said, we're the American Medical Association, the American Nursing Association, and we're coming to a reckoning with our racist past. And then they turned around and just showed that their path with it certainly wasn't an advanced, intelligent one. They just reversed the racism and said, you're racist if you don't support transgenderism on children. You're racist if you're white. Everything's about equity. We're a country that's about being equal, not equity. Yeah, equity is about social justice. It's about socialism. So that's why our healthcare system, the people running it, are just socialist people, and they're tanking the system. That's what they're doing. Now, if everybody in the healthcare system wants to continue to believe that bullshit, well, then it just shows that you don't want to think for yourself. So it's just a fact. He also said, so he said ChatGPT, the AIs we have here, they're censored. They're only allowed to take from certain data. So you're really not getting an accurate, because it's not a truly open AI. It doesn't serve the government to have a truly open AI. And I thought about that, because if AI is non-biased, right? Okay, and if it can gather intelligence way faster than we can, it would recognize that the healthcare system, your health equity is racist. So that doesn't serve all those powers of control, like your unions, your healthcare associations. Doesn't serve them. They want to stay on their administrative control path of every human being. Yeah, that in the case of healthcare, controlling every aspect of healthcare, no innovation. They'll talk about innovation, they sure will, but it better come from the people at the very top, the very people that can't even recognize their own racism because they went on a health equity path. And then he was saying too that we're basically reaching, because people are at this limit. I'm at this limit too, where we don't want to pay taxes. Like, what are we paying for? You have more freedoms if you're an illegal alien in this country than you do a citizen. We do. And you can thank healthcare for that as well, because they supported open borders, and they still haven't denounced that. They really should if they were about protecting healthcare, but the people running it are not. I would fight any doctor, scientist in healthcare. I would fight any one of them, and I would debate and win on it, because I've researched it enough, I've seen it enough. So I don't care what nurse or doctor out there wants to say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, debate me on it then. So he was saying people are fed up. We don't want to be paying taxes. And why should you? You have more freedoms if you're not even a citizen. Yet we're paying. And he was saying at first, because he lives in New York, that New York doesn't have any money. We don't have any more money. Everything's falling apart. Yeah, they're a sanctuary city like Chicago is. So, now these mayors are like, oh, well, we can't afford this. We need more money. And so he's like, yeah, maybe it's best for these cities to go bankrupt. So I think that's really where you're going to strangle the beast the most, is that it's going to be financially. Because regular American citizens are fed up. We don't care what side of the aisle it is. We're just fed the fuck up with paying any taxes, whether it's state or federal, because you don't serve us. You don't. I talk to so many people that are conservative that say the same thing. No, I trust none of the Republicans. None of them, because everything they do is for every other country, or somehow they have to come to the middle, and it's like it's all a game. So people are reaching this point where the social control is collapsing, and then you add the criminals in there like Antifa, which is just an arm of the Democratic Party. And, he said that New York is it's bankrupting. And he said, and then you put the unions, and you do have all these unions rising up. Yeah, that's not a good thing. That's like your brown shirts, basically. Sorry for all those people in unions. It's just the truth. Most of them anyway. Your nursing, healthcare, education, your UAW, yeah, the auto workers, Yeah, he said, so with the unions, that's strangling everything also, too, in the city. And it's like, no, the best thing is let them go bankrupt. Let them all go bankrupt. Because when the American people say we're done paying taxes for all your bullshit, well, then you don't have any money to pay anything. You're going to eventually print us into nothingness.